Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking about my favourite books of 2015. Originally I had 10 books that I thought this is the order of them, this is how much I love them. Then I just decided it felt quite forced, it didn't feel very representative of all the things that I've read this year. So in the end I just randomly chose the books, well not randomly, but I chose the books that I really loved this year off my bookcase. There's quite a few of them, so I'm going to talk about them. The first ones I'd like to talk about are The Name of the Star and The Madness Underneath by Maureen Johnson. It's not often now that I find a YA series that I can really get into, but these two books are really different to anything that's out there. They are about a girl called Rory who is going to boarding school in England, in London, and it just so happens that around this time the Jack the Ripper murders start happening again, and there's also a supernatural twist, and I really got hooked on these books. They are part of a series, so I'm looking forward to reading the third book soon. It's already out, and then the fourth book will come out soon as well. Another author that I definitely fell in love with this year was Louise O'Neill, and this year I read both of her books, which are Only Ever Yours and Asking for It. Her books are just incredible. I did a review of Asking for It on my channel, so you can see where I talk about it in full over there. I think the thing that I love about these books is that when you come away from reading them, you'll feel like you're a better person, and she writes very realistically and brutally, so she doesn't sugarcoat anything and she's very honest in her writing. On to the three main YA novels that I love this year, and the first one, and perhaps my favourite YA book of the year, is Crow Moon by Anna McKerrow. This is about a society in the near future that feels very realistic to our own world and the way it could turn out, where oil supplies are running low, and in England there is the Green World, which is Devon and Cornwall, and people have set up this eco-friendly community that really reveres and honours nature, and I really like that about it. The Green World is a place that I'd really like to live. I loved it for that reason. I thought it was such a brilliant book, and I can't wait to read the sequel. This is the first book in a trilogy. Then we have The Next Together by Lauren James, a reincarnation romance story about Catherine and Matthew, who are brought back throughout the ages, and in each time frame they fall in love. But their love is doomed. It's not supposed to work out, so you follow them on their journey through this book with lots of various eras. You just are rooting for them and wanting them to get together and wanting them to end up happy. There is a sequel to this book that's going to be even better, so things are left on a bit of a cliffhanger, which makes me just want to read the next book straight away. I really can't wait to read it. Lauren James is a seriously talented writer. She is such a good friend of mine too, so you definitely need to read her books because they're so worth it. You will not regret reading them. And then the final YA book I want to talk about is Counting Stars by Kara Stainton. This kind of falls into a new adult category, even though I don't like using the term new adult, but this book is about house sharing. The character's a lot older, about 18ish, so if you're looking for a YA novel that is for a slightly older audience, then this is for you, and I really liked it for that reason. I really hope that more books are published like this soon, because I really liked how different it was to a lot of things out there at the moment. Hotkey always do a content circle on the back of their books, and for this one it is flat shirt, funny, blogging and sex. Sums up the book pretty well, I think. 2015 is definitely the year that I got into reading more graphic novels, and my favourite graphic novel of the year is definitely Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. This is about a girl who goes to find an evil villain and wants to become his sidekick, but she's also got some secrets of her own. She's super cool. I'd love to be best friends with her, or I'd just like to be her. I fell in love with Nimona, and I think that you will too. I think anyone that reads it will love it. The illustrations are gorgeous. Noelle Stevenson is perhaps my favourite artist, like graphic novel artist, or graphic novelist, I don't know. She just has such a specific style, and that when you see one of her illustrations you just know that it's her, and I really liked it for that reason. My favourite adult book of the year was Royal Wedding by Meg Cabot. I am a huge fan of the Princess Diaries books, and this is the latest one. It's for an adult audience, so Mia is a lot older now than she was at the end of the last book, which was the 10th book, and although it is set quite a few years after the last book, it's definitely just as good, maybe even better. We see Mia and Michael as they're growing up, and Mia has more struggles than she did before. She has different struggles, and there's also a new plot introduced. I just love Mia so much. She's one of my favourite YA characters. She's just so brilliant, and this book was just all my dreams come true. Just like I read lots of graphic novels this year, I also read lots and lots of classics, and I have three favourites. I think three of the only classics I read, but I did read some J.D. Salinger too, but it wasn't just quite good enough for me to include it in my top books of the year. So the first classic I want to talk about is Agnes Gray by Anne Bronte. This is about a young girl called Agnes whose family are going through some money troubles. So she says that she'll become a governess. The children she looks after are not very well behaved, and Agnes's story is just about getting to know her, and I really like that about it compared to Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre is a book of problems, whereas Agnes is a book about just discovering yourself and going out in the world and making something of yourself, and that's why I liked it so much. Then we have an all-time favourite book of mine. It is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This is the gorgeous Vintage Classics edition, and Vintage have produced a whole set of these. They are so gorgeous, you've probably already seen them. I loved this so much. I have watched so many adaptations in the past few weeks just because I wanted to remember the story, and I'm going to be talking about this so much more on my channel in 2016 because I've got lots of videos to do with it planned. So I'm not going to talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil all the stuff to come, but it is amazing, as you probably already know. And then the final book is my favourite book of the year, and it is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. You know how much I love the Brontes. This is my favourite book by them. Wuthering Heights is set on the Yorkshire moors, and I think the thing that I loved most about it was that I felt like I was there. I'm pretty sure I was unbearable to be around when I was reading this because I got so wrapped up in it, in all the emotions, in just the feelings of gloominess. It's a brilliant example of a gothic novel. I fell in love with it. I love it so much. So those are my favourite books of 2015. I hope you didn't mind my voice going too much. I really enjoyed making this video. I love talking about the books that I've really loved. So in the comments below, tell me your top 3 books of the year because I'd really like to know. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you guys soon. Happy reading!